We're going to be installing the TapeTech and ASGARD finishing box maintenance kit. Now, these are basically blades and skids that that go on the sides of the boxes. We're going to install those. I will say that they are uniform across both lines. So whether you have an easy clean box, a power assisted box, a max box, the same on the ASGARD regular easy, max power assist, they fit all the same. So they're the same basic blade kits and skids. So for now, we're going to be installing the 10-inch. I'm going to set these aside and open this kit up. We'll install this. So what comes in here, in this kit, you've got three blades for the 10-inch, and you've got two sets of right and left skids. Now I know guys in the field have different names for these, zapatos, shoes. They're called skids, but lots of names for them. But there's two of each of those. Okay, so to install these, what we have here on the side of the box, and I guess I'm going to explain what I need for a tool. I'm going to use just a regular medium tip flathead screwdriver, and I'll probably need a pair of pliers, so I'm going to use just a pair of pliers for the install. So what happens is, your blade is set in here, and the skids here. The skids protect these side plates as this rubs on the wall, but they're aligned and they're metered so that you have a nice crisp finish. You don't have any edging. So you're always going to be adjusting. There's an adjustment screw here and here on both sides that you would use to constantly push this blade out. At some point, this blade can't be adjusted. Usually there's a length here. I use my fingernail. In the TapeTech kit, they actually have a feeler gauge, so it'll be for a finishing box, and you can kind of run this up and it should catch right on there. So this is just a little gauge that comes in the TapeTech kit, but you can kind of feel the edge right there. If you don't have that, your fingernails work good, but at some point this is flat and the material will get past the blade and the skid on the side here. So we want to make sure that when that happens, we got to change the blade out, and that's what this kit does. So first thing we'll do is push out the blade all the way. Get my screwdriver lined up. Get it in that little slot there. And then you'll be doing this as time goes on, so you can kind of see the blade is being adjusted out. It'll be always wearing right here. It usually doesn't wear in the middle. It wears right here in this little end point. So I'm just going to push it out. And at the end there, we can just kind of push the blade out. And it'll just pop right on out. Okay. Now we're also going to loosen this screw back up because we're going to reinstall that new blade and adjust it like a new blade. Again, probably about 3 months or so, you'll wear through a blade. If you're using it every day, a lot. Blades last a long time. Just loosen that up. You don't need to remove that. Just loosen that. Okay. Now the blade itself, again, it'll wear at the ends, but the blades that you receive are just flat. And what we need to do before we install a new blade is I come in 2 fingers and I'll bend it down just a little bit, just a little bit down. So this is kind of aiming down, and then come in about 2 fingers and bend the other side down, just a little bit. So we're going down and down. For 7 10-inch boxes, we'll be folding down and down. On 12 and 15-inch boxes, they'll actually fold up and then down. So we want to bend this up and this one down. And all we're doing is keeping this a little bit of pressure in the brass blade holder here. So this is where the blade sits. So that bend is just keeping it pressed into the brass. Before we install the blade, we want to clean out this little groove right here, this joint compound in here. If there's any in there, just run your screwdriver through there. Now with the bent blade, we just start at one end and kind of just press it in, work your way across. Now when you get over here, if it doesn't pop in that easy, you can take a pair of pliers and just very easily just kind of snap that into place, and it'll pop it right into place. But again, the bends are just to keep this held in place. If you don't bend these new blades, they'll fall out. So they may not fall out right away, but they'll come loose while you're boxing. So put that little bend in there. Now, we're also going to adjust this screw right to where it hits your finger. You feel it kind of right there. And your fingernail is catching on the edge right here. You actually need to run this with joint compound just to see if there's any edging. If there's still edging, you can bump your blade out a little bit more. You basically repeat the same on the left side, right side. Just make sure that it's not leaving any edging, extra joint compound. Now, as far as the skids go, these are the new blades. We're going to dispense with the old one. On the side here, we have these skids. We have one on the right, one on the left. What we're going to do is just remove this screw. You actually have to remove these. Just turn. Now, you got to keep these screws because they don't come with the kit, so make sure you don't lose those. So we have the old skid here. Okay, that piece will be removed. And then this is a retaining clip, and it just keeps the skid connected to the brass blade holder. And it kind of pinches the two together. So I like to say the two together, if you look at this like this, they basically hold this brass piece in place so it doesn't move. So this piece doesn't come with it as well, and they usually don't wear out, so you just keep that part on there. And then with the new skid, put the right side on, you just place it, line it up with the holes, with the screw holes, and make sure that it's not on the blade but sitting right on the brass right here. So if I can get these screw holes lined up. And then replace your screws. Now, you want to put these in, but don't tighten them. Just thread them in till they're almost tight. Now, the reason why is it's very important. Just put the screws in. I know they're small, but so just tighten these back up. Not all the way, just to where right before they're tight. Same with this. And what we want to do is, see if I can stand this up so you can see it better. I'm going to take a pair of pliers, and what I want to do, or actually needle nose pliers would work best, is I'm going to take this part here, this retaining clip and the skid, and press them together and then tighten the screw. Because that way we can hold it'll be a tighter fit. So you just kind of squeeze with these two together and then tighten this first screw first. And then tighten the back screw. And we don't want this brass piece moving. If this is moving back and forth, just loosen these up again. Again, you're just taking this and pinching these two parts together. Just pinch them together and then tighten. And that's how you change. You just do the same on the right side as the left, and that's how you change the blades and the skids on the TapeTech and ASGARD boxes.